was recording. And then I saw myself pop my pants like that. I was like, it's just I'm just popping and scratching. Yeah. Like I got scabies or something. All right. Hey ladies, we're back.
Hi.
So we're really excited to talk about today's topic because I think it's something that impacts all of us. And quite honestly, it's not fair. So, you know, this word fair isn't always the correct word to use in life because life isn't always fair.
Right.
But we want to talk about, as women, knowing your worth in the workplace. And I think as we start thinking about knowing your worth in the workplace, it really is about a lot of things. But one of the big topics we're going to discuss today is just being fair with our salary. So
Exactly.
we're excited to talk about it. Hopefully you guys can get something out of it. We're going to maybe follow up with this topic a couple more times, but it'll be really good for everybody to really understand where you are from a salary standpoint.
Exactly. So one of the things I think we all know is that women generally have a pretty big wage disparity from their male counterparts for the similar roles or, you know, same role. The reality is, and this is what's really crazy to me, is that women in general are the highest educated groups, and specifically Black women. We are the most highly educated. We have degrees, we have master's degrees.
Masters on top of masters.
But women make about 82 cents to the dollar compared to their white male counterparts, or just male counterparts. And Black women make $67 compared to $1 or for every $1 that their male counterparts make.
And that's a big difference, Tamara. And specifically,
that's a big difference.
When I tell you guys, I deal with this on such a consistent basis. So the last team that I had reporting to me, it was about 50-50 female male. And hands down, all of my females made less money than my males. Now, here's the thing. Now, you're not always going to work for a Kristen or a Tamara that can go in there and see that that's not right and make adjustments and or build a case to a corporate office and say, hey, this is, you know, we need to really be careful with this. This doesn't make sense. This female has had 5 years in her role compared to this male at maybe 2 years in the role. And so for me specifically, I'm going to go and be an advocate for those type situations. But when you don't have someone advocating for you, you've got to be able to feel comfortable doing that on your own. And Tamara can speak to us from an HR perspective. So some of the ways that may be politically correct or ethical to talk about, I'd love to hear, kind of share that with us, Tamara, because it's a big deal.
Well, one thing just to kind of keep in mind is that while a lot of companies encourage you to not discuss salary, I actually agree with that methodology. I do think it's an individualized thing.
No, when you say discuss salary, you mean with your peers.
With your peers. Right. However, an employer can actually stop you or forbid you from discussing comp. So I just want to put that out there. I don't think a lot of people know and understand that. The second thing I would say too is when you're talking about ensuring that you're making what you're worth, or if you feel like you're not, you need to be able to come with a business case, right? I've had a lot of people kind of come to me and just been like, hey, you know, I just don't feel like I'm getting paid my worth.
Please don't do that, ladies. Please. Let me tell you where that gets you with someone you report to. Someone came to me and said, I just don't feel like I make enough money. I've been working really hard these last couple of weeks.
Right.
Okay, but you've been here 5 years, so you're going to tell me you've been working hard the last couple of weeks? Right. Okay, so you do have to come with a business plan, to Tamara's point, because you can't just approach finances any kind of way.
No. And so I recommend, listen, there's a ton of open sources right now from payscale.com, you know, to kind of you name it. I would stay away from like Indeed or some other places. Those are self-reporting or self-reported websites, and sometimes you don't get the best data. But places like payscale.com and some other sources can give you at least an idea of what you should be making for the work or the type of work that you do. The second thing I would say too is have a conversation with your boss if you don't feel like you're being paid what you're worth, and understand where you fall within your pay band. Most companies, if you work for a large company, they have a pay band, and there's different kind of zones, if you will, in terms of where you're going to fall. If you're just starting a new job, just be honest, we'll keep it level set. You may not start at the midpoint of that range or the higher end of that range.
Now, if you're a good negotiator, you can.
Yes, well, that's true.
That's another day, another lesson.
Another day, another lesson. But if you do have, you know, experience And, you know, relative to other people, you should kind of fall roughly around the middle or so, depending on your company. But you can have that conversation with your boss to say, hey, help me understand where I am in the range and kind of why. You know, that can at least help.
And that's another thing. Well, and I was just going to say, to your point, asking your supervisor, help me understand maybe where I fall in the range. Is my salary comparable to my peers' salary? Now, that's always one that I would say, am I comparable to my peers? I don't need to know what they're making, but I also want to understand transparently, am I in the ball game?
And I think that's bold and right. Let me tell you something, ladies. Our men ask those questions.
Absolutely.
They 100.
It's funny too. Tim
real
bringing
bold.
up a really good point. Leading men and women, the things that men ask for example, starting a new job, asking for a sign-in bonus. Women never ask for sign-in bonuses.
Don't even think about it.
Now, I do. I don't care if I'm going to a new job, new company, whatever it is. I want someone to understand, okay, so like if it's a new company, I'm going to a new company, I'm going to have to change something about my lifestyle. There may be a different culture, I may have to dress differently. I want to know what are those things up front that maybe I can benefit from, because I'm going to come to your organization, I want to work really hard.
Right.
So it is important to ask everything and do your research. What are some things that I can ask for coming in? Sometimes people's, you know, it'll be a vehicle. Sometimes it'll be different gifts or things like that they can offer you
Extra
coming in.
PTO,
Extra PTO.
extra
Now,
fringe benefits,
the older we get, women,
work from home options.
the older we get, the package is important.
And
Look
that's
at your
true.
stock options. Look at your vacation
Yes.
time. So that's another
For bringing
piece.
that up.
Yeah, it's not just about your base salary. Your base salary is great, and that's what comes into the house. But I'll tell you, every quarter, when bonuses come, it feels really good when you get 20% and above on your bonuses. So be thinking about your overall package, but also that base salary is important. Don't expect anything less. One more thing, Tamara. I always tell people, never accept what people offer you for a job. Like, so if they say, okay, great, we're going to offer you $85,000 for this job, you need to be asking for $92,000. And I'm going to tell you why. Whenever I extend an offer to someone or any person who is a hiring manager, you're offering up a dollar amount, but you're never going to, I'm not going to say never. There are times I think that people go to the best offer, but 9 times out of 10, people do not give you the exact best offer that they can offer. So be thinking about that. I don't care if you negotiate $3,500. Negotiate something.
And the worst they can say is no. At the end of the day, I want to also bring balance to that. You do need to do, like I said, your research around what a position should pay.
That's a good one.
So you don't want to go ask for $100,000 for a job that's going to pay you $50,000. You have to be within reason, but you definitely should be thinking about asking for or not taking the first offer. I 100% agree with that.
Now, everybody wants 6 figures, but like Tamara said, if you're doing a job that is a $50,000 a year annual salary, you can't expect to get something at $100,000.
You're not going to do that. Companies can't afford to do that.
Right.
The other thing I would just mention too is your total compensation piece is a great way. I think it's important to focus on your base salary, but I do think you can negotiate and work with things like your annual bonus if your company provides or if the position offers it. The second thing I would say, you can also look at stock options.
Oh my gosh.
Specifically, if you are in a company that has high growth, those who may be going public or moving to an IPO,
right?
Y'all, look, ask for stock options. Those that's a great long-term compensation strategy to actually get ahead.
And to Tamara's point, stock options usually vest, or let's say expire after 10 years. So you have a lot of time, whether the company is performing well or not. Here's the thing, in 10 years, a lot can happen with the company. You may see your company slow down and come right back up. But 10 years gives you a lot of time to really make some good money. And when I say good money, there was a point in time early in my career where I saw my peers cashing out stock options. They were going to buy boats. They were paying off their student loans or their kids' college.
I've seen it as well.
Yeah, so like be thinking about that, ladies. There are so many options out there. When you think about getting your pay, everybody goes to like the base salary. I want X amount of dollars, but you know what? Those stock options can sometimes pay way more than that.
They 100% can. Your bonuses actually play a part in it. And think about other fringe benefits like work from home options. Look, that is invaluable sometimes.
You don't have to crank your car up. That saves gas.
You can
You're
work
saving
in the
on lunch
morning
money.
after the kids are off of work, or
There's
you can
a
just
lot.
wake up and do, roll over in your pajamas and get going.
There's a lot of savings in that.
Yeah, sometimes it happens to me, but
right.
just being honest. But at the end of the day, like, those are very valuable things. Time is valuable.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of negotiation chips. Keep those in mind. We'll be talking more about this. I think this is like
Definitely
a topic that women really need to get good at.
Yeah, and just to kind of wrap it up, ladies, we have got to know our worth in the workplace. A lot of times we accept what comes our way because we're just grateful that I'm the first female to ever be in this role, or I'm just glad I got the opportunity. I didn't feel like I was totally ready for the role. Newsflash, none of us are ever prepared.
Your
for
male
a role.
counterparts are thinking the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
And yet they're able to earn more. So I think you should absolutely always ask for what you're worth. It's like the Starbucks coffee. It's really good and it's expensive, but it's just a really good coffee. You just pay more for it. Sorry. It's the experience. Sometimes you really just have to, position yourself as something valuable. You are valuable. You are competent. You're bringing something very valuable to a company, and you should get paid for that.
Bottom line. So, ladies, let's get better at really expecting equal pay. Let's get better at also knowing our worth, what we're going to bring to the table. Let's get paid for it.
Let's do it.
And as Tamara and I said earlier, the package is bigger than just the base salary. Be thinking about your paid time off. Be thinking about your stock options. Signing bonuses are huge. Okay, so please make sure that you guys are negotiating those things.